What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Tone. I make content of all types, mainly self-improvement on this channel, but I don't want to just give it a title, confine it to something. We make all types of content, all types of good content. We gonna call it real nigga content, bro. This is real nigga content. But anyway, today I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all. Hold on. Fresh braids, Ichigo. We go one braid with the beads. We go fake chrome, but it's still tough. Gemstone bracelet. Well, so I wanted to get into my top 5 books that I've read this year. Now, when I say top 5 books, before I get into the video, these aren't I'm not saying these are the best 5 books of 2026. I'm not saying these are the 5 best books I've read in 2026. For example, there could be a book that came out that was way better than a book that I have on the list, but maybe the book I have on the list, there could be like one point that stuck with me really hard, or there could be like something I needed to hear at the time, and that's what made the book resonate with me more. This is just like my personal top 5 books that I read this year. And by the way, this list isn't in any particular order. Like, it's not ranked. It's just a list. Let's not even, oh my God. Let's just pretend it ain't even ranked, you know what I'm saying? All right, so boom. Set that up. The first book I want to get into is, let's start off, Psycho-Cybernetics. I got this book, I think, actually two of the books on this list I got from a YouTuber called AB Academy. He made this video. It was top 4 books every man should read. 2 of the books stuck with me really well. 2 of them I wasn't really bipping with them. But hey, that's just how it be sometimes. But look, right here we have Psycho-Cybernetics. This book right here is, when I first read it, it was, I'll say I had it number 1. Like, it was the best book I ever read. And it kind of teaches you, I do think, like, if you had to choose any book from this video to read, is this one, bro. Because, like, it will stick with you after you read it, and you kind of don't have a choice whether it sticks with you or not. Well, it's written by Maxwell Maltz, and he's a plastic surgeon. And what he kind of realized was that he would fix niggas' faces. Maxwell Maltz would fix someone's face, and he would realize that the person would come to him to get this issue solved that they had with their self-image, and they would get their shit sliced up, redone, and the problem that they had with themselves would still be there. And that kind of made him go deeper into the subject of self-image, all that, this, that, and the third. And that's kind of what this book talks about. It's mainly about, alright, so the camera ended up running, or the SD card ended up running out of storage. And I think I was talking about, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, all right. Okay. I think I was, which just made it fall. I think I was talking about Psycho-Cybernetics. The pause kind of threw me off, but I think I said mostly everything I wanted to say about this book. Let me just get to the key point. I'm saying, I'm gonna try to do like a key point for each of the books. Is my shit tweaking? So a key point I'll take away from this book is mainly for people that like suffer from anxiety or like nervousness, anything of the sort like that. When you feel like jittery or anxiety or like stressed out about something, like the amount of work you have to do, a lot of the times it's cause like you're kind of putting it on yourself that you have to do like all those things that you have to do at once. You know what I'm saying? When really you don't gotta do all that stuff at once. But yeah, that's Psycho-Cyber. Yeah, my camera is tweaking. Wait, hold on. It is. What the? Hold on. Okay. I hope it doesn't come out inverted, but if it does come out, because I just fixed it. If it does come out inverted, I mean, shit, nigga, the words ain't gonna be inverted, so y'all get the point. Next book I'll go over is, let's do this one. Now, with this book, I don't know if it was exactly, no, yeah, I'd have it in my top 5. Contagious by Jonah, I don't know how you pronounce his name. I'm gonna say Berger. Jonah Berger is basically just a book about like why things catch on. I think it says on the front, yeah, why things catch on. And it's kind of, I want to call it a marketing book, but it's not entirely a marketing book. But for the most part, like if you're starting a brand and you want to teach yourself about marketing, like you could go here to learn about marketing. But it's just like an overall of like why things catch on, like why things go viral, stuff like that. And I got this book specifically for my brand, and I have been taking like a lot out of it. Well, I already read it, so like what I took out of it, I have been taking a lot out of it already, but I'm gonna keep going through it and reviewing all my highlighted points and stuff to like see what else I can get from it. But basically it's kind of just like, he's a marketing professor at somewhere, where Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. So he's a marketing professor in college, and he kind of just, this book is really just like as simple as that, like why things catch on. Like he talks about different things like like triggers, social currency, how things use your emotions to catch on, like what value does it have, what's the story behind it, like stuff like that. But then he goes into detail about it. Key point I would take from this book to give would probably be, I'm trying to think like what's my favorite aspect of this book that he talks about. Probably like social currency, like how much is it worth socially, you know what I'm saying? Like you know how moms, they get around other parents and they try to like embarrass the fuck out of you for parent currency, you know what I'm saying? Let me think of a better way to put it. So I guess a good way to describe social currency would be like, how much value does it hold, not monetarily, but amongst the people in your community, in your environment. And that'd be this book, Contagious. I mean, like I said, like I've probably read better things this year, but this is on here like solely because I feel like branding wise, it got a lot of game in it. If you got a brand, read this book. Next, we have, I'll save the 2 non-self-improvement books for later, for the end. Here we have Outwitting the Devil. Now, Outwitting the Devil, if I'm not mistaken, this book was written in like, this book was written in the 1930s, right? But it was just published in 2011 because like, I forget what they say in this book. It's been a while since I read it. It was written in the 1930s, but it just got published in like 2011 because like, not on no corny shit, but like they didn't want the secrets of this shit to get out. And it just came out in 2011. And if you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, he has hella good books. If you read any type like success books, self-help books, and you don't know Napoleon Hill, you probably just started. I don't know. I feel like most people that read books know Napoleon Hill. But what is Outwitting the Devil essentially about though? Outwitting the Devil, in his book, Napoleon Hill, he ends up having an interview with the devil. Now, I don't know if he was doing some meditation and he tapped, I got 12%, I gotta talk fast as fuck. And he tapped into the subconscious and talked to, and actually had a conversation with the devil, or he was talking within himself, like talking like based on the knowledge of what he knows. But he's having an interview with the devil, right? And he's basically just like asking the devil all these different questions, like what is he doing to control humanity? What does he look like? What is his intentions? Stuff like that. And it's really, it's a good book. It's a good book. If I'm being honest, it's like, if I'm being honest, when I read this, because I said Psycho-Cybernetics was one, but after I read this, I put it over Psycho-Cybernetics. So if these were ranked, this would probably be number one, because this is such an elite book. Like, if I had to sum this up, not in one word, like what the book is, but what I took away from it, on the back of the book, it says, fear is the tool of a man-made devil. You know what I'm saying? And then if I go into, I think more, oh no, I'll just read off the part where he asked the devil what his physical appearance looked like. He said, this is what the devil said. My physical appearance, I consist of negative energy, and I live in the minds of people who fear me. That's what he said his physical appearance is. The devil says, basically, he doesn't have a physical appearance. He lives in the minds of people who fear him as negative energy. He's basically saying he is negative energy. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm thinking if I'm about to go into deep detail on these books, but it's like my camera about to die. I gotta hurry it up. But yeah, that's Outwitting the Devil. Even though I have this one personally above Psycho-Cybernetics, I still would recommend reading this one first, just because, like, I feel like once you read this book, everything you read afterwards will just like absorb so much better. So, but I do think overall that this is the better book, at least in my opinion. But if you had to pick a book to read after Psycho-Cybernetics, it'd be this one. I remember after I first read this, I was kind of like, I feel like everybody in the world should read this book, and like the world would just fix itself. Like if everybody read this joint and then just like really took this shit serious, this one of them ones. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Okay, now for the last two books. The last one is really going to surprise y'all, but before we get to the last one, this book right here. Now, out of all the non-self-improvement books, this book right here, bro, The Marathon Don't Stop. The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle. I have a good about 7 minutes left of recording, so I can't get into too much detail, but this book right here, if you don't know anything about Nipsey Hussle, if you don't know who Nipsey Hussle is, he was a rapper first and foremost, but he was also an entrepreneur and really an activist. And this book is just like an autobiography of his whole life. And it's not like any of these self-help books where you can just like find a key point or a key lesson. Like, it's literally just telling you about his entire life. And I think this deadass might be like the first autobiography I ever read. I don't think I've read an autobiography before. No. I mean, I've read books. I mean, I guess that would be autobiographies, because I've read books about people's lives. Like, I read 50 Cent. I guess he has an autobiography. Charlemagne the God, Rick Ross. I've read a couple autobiographies, but this one is my favorite by far. For one, Nipsey Hussle is one of my favorite rappers, like top 3. Like the stuff he talk about, like he talk about real stuff. Like y'all be seeing the memes where niggas be like, when a rapper I'm listening to was talking about real world issues instead of drugs, killing, and murder, and money. This nigga Nip put that shit together, so it's like the casual like rap listener can still enjoy listening to Nipsey Hussle without feeling like he's listening to like some conscious rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mess with his music. But in this book, it's like I can't really name a specific lesson that they're talking about, like a key point, because it's literally just talking about his life. But it's a motivational book too, because if you know anything about Nipsey Hussle, he a hustler, like he grind. So like if you want a motivational book, this book could do it for you. Some Nipsey Hussle music could do it for you. Listen to the Nipsey Hussle album, Prolific. It's coming out in August. I don't know the exact date, but it's his first posthumous album. Y'all boys go listen to that, and girls, everybody go listen to that. Actually, excuse me. When I was reading this book, it took me a couple months to read it because when I first bought it, I had read like 100 pages. It's like a 400-page book. I had read like 100 pages, and I was kind of like, I had got bored of it. And I was just like, man, I'm not trying to listen to it. But what had happened was I actually ended up getting into his music, and it brought me back to the book because I had picked up the book on some like entrepreneurship type shit, because like what he was doing with the Marathon brand, and that's what I picked the book up for. And then once I started reading it and realized, all right, it's not really like an entrepreneurship type book, it's like a real rapper autobiography, I had put it down. But then I started listening to his music, and it just made me pick it back up, bro. I really mess with Nipsey Hussle, bro. He's probably like my top 3 favorite celebrities. Like, I mess with Nipsey Hussle, and I mess with his book. This is The Marathon Don't Stop, Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle. It's written by Rob Kenner. I don't really know too much about him, but apparently he writes like a lot of hip-hop books. And I don't know funny shit, but like, it says he wrote it, right? But as I'm reading the book, these niggas keep saying niggas. So like, if he is saying it, it's not like I'm gonna send this nigga an email, but I was just wondering if he was the one typing it. But yeah, it's the book. 6%. I got probably a good 2-3 minutes left, so let's hurry it up. Last but not least, I have, I'm gonna do a drum roll. Tsugumi Project. Yes, it is a manga. But hey, I said top 5 journals I read this year, and I read this year. Actually, I read it in 2025. It honestly could have been 2024. But I did just reread it a couple weeks ago, and I was just messing with this shit so hard, I just had to include it in the video, bro. So, what is this about? Japan got nuked, and they all ended up leaving Japan. But there's some shit in Japan that they want. Like years later, there's some shit in Japan that they want. So what they do is they grab a bunch of criminals, and they're like, yo, y'all niggas is gonna go to Japan, get this shit, and at a certain date, we're gonna come extract y'all niggas, and y'all gonna come get on the plane, and we'll forgive you of your crimes if y'all complete this mission. But they was like, hey, if y'all niggas don't get back on this plane, y'all cooked. But basically, this right here, this is the main character, and he's on an island with like a bunch of monsters and all type of crazy shit. Nigga ain't got no food, there's radiation everywhere, all that type shit. But he gets there, and I think he was I don't know what the fuck this nigga was, but he was a motherfucking criminal, I think. Honestly, I just reread it like a couple of weeks ago, but I already don't really remember. Cause like, it was on the type time, like if I needed a book to read before bed, like I read this shit. So I don't really remember too much of what was happening, but I do remember I was messing with it so hard that I wanted to get like the next couple volumes. But that's Tsugumi Project. Tsugumi is this girl right here. Like, she's some little mutant chicken girl, some shit. I don't know what she is, but I figured I'd just throw this book in here. It's not really self-help, motivational, success, educational, nothing like that, improvement. But that ain't all reading about, bro. I'm gonna read some fun shit, bro. And this shit was good. Like, these niggas be banging the fuck out in this bitch, yo. Like, real rap. And it's this black nigga in here. Nigga look like, I ain't gonna lie, the way they drew this nigga look like a motherfucking 1920. Like, you know how they used to draw black people back in the day with big ass red lips, big ass ears and shit? They got this nigga like that in here. It's this black nigga in here. And they drew him like that, and I was like, what the fuck? But the book itself is hard. On the back, it says a lushly drawn post-apocalyptic action manga for fans of Akira, Hell's Paradise, some shit I don't know how to pronounce, and the Southern Reach trilogy. I know what Akira and Hell's Paradise is, and this is very similar to Hell's Paradise, if you know what that is. If you heard me say the concept, you're like, the concepts are similar. But that's Tsugumi Project. And that brings us to the end of this video. Those are my top 5 books that I read this year, 2026. Now, I've got a lot more, and I'm gonna come back to this video or this topic, and I'll revamp it at the end of the year. And we'll see if the list changed, if maybe it'll stay the same. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully I always want to read some better shit. Hopefully it doesn't stay the same. But that's all I got for y'all. The top 5 we had was Contagious, Psycho Cybernetics, Outwitting the Devil, The Marathon Don't Stop, Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle, and Sugumi Project. Those are all 5 books right there. And that's going to do it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one.